Hi everybody, welcome back to the Wonky Carrot Homestead. It's great to have you here. If you don't know, my name is Paul, and together with Phoebe and our dog Dora, we live on 25 acres in the southern tablelands of New South Wales, Australia. I have so many jobs to do today that it's not funny, and it's already midday, so I need to get on with it. But the first task that I have on my huge to-do list is, you might remember a few months ago we planted a whole bunch of new trees in our orchard, or just outside of our orchard. That's fine. The trees, we've gone into winter, so the trees are now a bit dormant and they've lost their leaves and all that, so not worried about that. But what I am worried about is the rabbits that have now decided to start digging in the bottom of the trees and try and dig up the roots. And I'm also slightly a bit worried about the kangaroos that are coming in and munching the branches and the leaves off the top of the plants. So what I'm going to do is put some exclusion fencing around our plants today, and hopefully that will do the trick to keep the rabbits and the kangaroos out of this little spot. Eventually we will have a full perimeter fence around this orchard. We just haven't yet decided how big we want to have this orchard extended to. So that will happen sometime later down the track. I went into town this morning and I got some star pickets and some fencing wire to do this. And what I'm going to do first is I'm going to put some soil around the bottom of the plants to some compost, the same compost that I use sort of all over the place. I'm going to put that around the bottom of the plants just to give them a little bit more nutrients, but a little bit more soil, because a lot of it's been dug away by the rabbits. Yay. And then what I'm going to do is put some of the wood chip mulch over the top, and then after that fence around, and hopefully that keeps them all out. I might give them a water too, since it's probably, we're expecting some rain next week, so I'll see how I go with the watering. So that's the first job for today, and there's heaps more that I need to do after that, so I'd best get on with it. So you can see the rabbits have been around this one, and this hole over here. I've actually filled some of this soil back in, a hole over here. More or less every single plant along this stretch is the same. So we're going to have to exclude those rabbits so we don't lose our trees. Oh, Papa, do the ball. This is for everybody who keeps telling me that I should throw the ball for Dora. And the cycle continues. This here is the mulch that we're using on our gardens at the moment. So we use it for footpaths and also for mulching around trees. This is Yuki mulch, so eucalyptus mulch. So it's bark. It looks like there's some sticks and what have you in there, and there's some leaves. It's all been composted down. Now, the community garden folk tell us that this is the stuff to use for paths and for mulching around our trees. And they say that it's really good for mulching around trees because it helps as a bug deterrent or a pest deterrent. And they also say that it's really good for putting down for paths in the garden because you just put this down. It helps suppress the grass and the weeds in those paths, but also it allows you to sort of create a soil underneath the mulch. And so if you decide then in the future that you want to move that path and turn that path into a garden bed, you've got some really nice soil under there. So that's what we're doing. And one of my jobs today, when I finish with these fruit trees here, is to put this Yuki mulch into where our paths will be in our main garden up towards the house. But now I have to get all of this around these fruit trees down here on the side of the orchard. And then the next step after that will be to place the protecting guards around. this is what our mulch ring looks like around the trees. Another one there, so on down the line. So the next stage in this process is to get these star pickets into the ground. The chickens are chooking up there in the chicken pen. Sorry about the noise. So get these in the ground. Why are they called star pickets, you might ask? Well, they're shaped sort of like a star. Now with these, I want to have the outside, this set of holes on the outside. So then when I go to wrap the wire around, I can use that to attach my wire. I'm only using 2 star pickets per plant. I could use 3 and put them in a triangle formation, but generally 2 is sufficient for what we're trying to do here. Now, we're not having these structures around the plant for the rest of their lives, just long enough so they can grow up and to become established, and hopefully the animals leave them alone like they do with our other more mature trees over there. As always, when hammering in star pickets, it's important to have eye protection and hearing protection. I have earplugs in at the moment. Normally I would be using earmuffs, but I had earplugs with me, so I've got those in. The other thing you need to be doing is wearing your gloves like I have. There's a coating on the outside of these that stops them rusting. That's not really my problem. It's just want to get a better grip on the pole, and I want to make sure that I have my hands in a safe place away from this top here, because what I'm going to be doing is banging down like so. I have actually heard of a friend in the past who was using a star picket hammer, which is a big tool that you place over the end of the picket, and you bang it up and down. It's got 2 handles on the side and it hits on the top. It's sort of a tube-like structure. Anyway, he had his hand up here and then brought up the tool and slammed it down on here and subsequently cut off a finger. So we don't want to be doing that. Hands away from where you're doing your work. Eye protection on, hearing protection on. And we want this to be driven, I don't know, 20 centimeters, 15, 20 centimeters into the ground if we can. And give the plant plenty of clearance, because we're then going to wrap the wire around, obviously. And just like that, that's deep enough. That will hold the wire and it will hold any critters out of the enclosure. I'll do the rest of them now. And well, just like that, through the magic of YouTube and television, all of the star pickets are in the ground. So one final thing to do is wrap them all in wire. I need to go and find my tie wire before I do that. So I'll go and do that. I'm sure it's buried somewhere in the shed where I didn't put it. And then we'll wrap them all up, make them all nice and cozy in their wire jumpers, and that's that task done. It's like a giant slinky. Well guys, that took probably about 2 hours from start to finish, but I've now finished putting all of the cages around these plants outside of the orchard, and I'm pretty happy with how it's all turned out. All in their cages, they're all wrapped up in their snug safety wire, and hopefully that means no more rabbits, no more kangaroos nibbling them to pieces. I noticed actually as I was working on these that there's some buds already forming, which means that hopefully, fingers crossed, this spring and summer we might get a crop out of some of these plants. That'd be pretty cool. Buds already on our apple. Some more on that one. I think this one's a peach, I can't remember, but there's some buds already forming on that, which is really cool. There's another apple in here. We've got some buds at the top. I think they might be terminal growth buds, as in they're going to continue extending the height of the plant more so than fruiting, but we've got what looks like some fruit buds as well. And again, this I think this one's a peach possibly. I can't remember now. I have to check my guide. But again, these ones here, they look like they might be fruiting or flowering first, then fruiting buds. And there's some terminal growth buds, it looks like, on some of those other ones. And they're all the same all the way up, so that's really cool. One of the things that we want to do with this channel, and we really strive to do, is be authentic, open, honest and transparent. And yes, there's a lot of exciting things that happen with planting crops and harvesting and, you know, new things coming in to the homestead, all of that. But there are some times where, you know, life on the homestead, life on any farm is just plain shit. And this week we had one of those moments. We lost one of our chickens. So a little bit of a backstory. We don't keep chickens for their eggs necessarily. We keep chickens mainly as pets. And we ended up getting our chickens, which included Red and Penelope and Leggy and Mr. Chichen and a couple of others, from our old landlord where we were renting. Late one night, get a phone call. Oh, do you want some chickens? Sure, why not? So he brings over some chickens plus all of their food and bits and pieces to go to set up the coop. And as it turns out, these chickens were from an elderly gentleman who was leaving his property and could no longer look after them. So we inherited the chickens, and we've had them now 2.5 or so years, maybe 3 years. And we don't know how old they were when we got them. We lost some already. Our neighbour's dog took the rooster and possibly one of the chickens, one of the other chickens. And Red and Penelope were the two that came over to this new property with us. So Red is still here, but we lost Penelope this week. And like I said, we don't keep chickens for their eggs, they're pets. We get the eggs because, well, chickens lay eggs and we can use the eggs, so why not? But we don't keep them for that. We don't keep them for meat or anything like that. They are pets. And so seeing the chickens wandering around the property, they go pretty much wherever they like, except for in the home yard. They can roam all over the place, and we let them do that. We want them to be free range and enjoy their life. And you know, to see them going about their day and enjoying themselves is really just something so special. And so for us, chickens are an important part of not only the property here and the vibe of the place, but they're also part of the family. So it's always sad when we do lose some chickens. And you know, that flock was our original flock. We'd never kept chickens before, so that was our first experience with chickens. Now we've still got Red, the last of the OG chooks, I suppose. And we've obviously still got the silkies and little chickpeas going really strong. But it's a bit of a cycle, isn't it? You have new life and you lose life, and that's kind of the way it is. And here on the Wonky Carrot Homestead, that's a part of the life that we are starting to live. But as I said, we want to be transparent, we want to be open, we want to share the highs and we want to share the lows with you as well. So I'm going to dig a hole here for Penelope, and I'm going to bury her. I won't show you that process, but this is one of the little spots on the property where she used to like to come and sort of browse around. We did have a feeling that she was going to pass away because she's been a little bit slower recently. She does tend to slow up during the winter months, but yeah, recently she's been quite slow and really looking unwell. So her time here has come to an end, which of course, as I said, is very sad, but that is what it is. All right guys, it's late in the day here. The sun is setting. The cockatoos are heading home to their trees to roost for the night, so you can hear those squawking in the background. But there's one more job that I need to get done today, and that is put the asparagus in the ground. If I don't get them in now, I probably won't get a chance tomorrow, and I won't get a chance next weekend, and then we're leaving it way too late in the season to get these in the ground. Now these are asparagus crowns, so we might get lucky and get some spears in spring, but more than likely these will be here until next year, and we're going to harvest next year. I have got some crowns that I had at our old house. They're over the other side of the garden. We'll see what happens with those. Who knows, we might get some spears this spring from those. If not, well, they're in the ground. These will produce for 20 odd years or so. All they need to do is put in, left alone, happy days. Keep them watered, mulched, all the usual stuff, and then they'll be happy. So we have asparagus purple, Asparagus officinalis, very fancy, 2 of those, and then asparagus Mary Washington, also Asparagus officinalis. I don't know how they differ. I know one is purple, obviously, and the other one is green. I don't know other than that too much whether or not their growing habits change or what have you. Anyway, this is a full sun position, which is what they like. I'm going to put them in this bed at the back here. I'm just going to put some cardboard down first. It's already got some mulch. It's got some soil in the bottom under the mulch or under the straw. So cardboard down, soil on top, asparagus in the ground. Let's get on with it. Don't they look cool? They look like some sort of little monster or octopus with the 1,000,000 legs or something like that. How cool are asparagus? I love growing these and I love looking at the plants. First thing, a little bit of cardboard. The asparagus need to be placed 30 centimetres apart. We've got 4 crowns, so 1, 2, 3, 4 across. And that's the end of our strawberry bed there, so it's perfect placement. Oh, try not to trip over and kill myself in the process. One more bit. I might save that space for something else. Don't know what. So, first one, Mary Washington. Just sort of loosen up their roots a little bit. More or less they're just going to lie flat like that. And this is the purple. Now, some people say to sort of mound the asparagus sort of like put it on a little bit of a hill sort of thing, so then the roots grow out. Not sure if that helps or not. What I'm going to do is go with another barrow load of soil over on top. Okay, I'm going to go and get another barrow of soil. I'm going to put it on here, and then I think that's going to be the last of the sunlight for the day. I'll go and grab some firewood, and that will be me done. I hope you have enjoyed this video. Remember, if you haven't already done so, be sure to like and subscribe. You know the drill. That helps YouTube understand that you like these videos and want to see more of them, and then they'll come to you in your feed and so on. And you can also hit that little bell up the top, which allows you to be notified when we've got some new content coming out. So get on to doing that. Anyway, I will see you in the next one. Bye for now.